Let's do this thing. Let's move.
JoBodie.
I'm Gerald Ford, and you're not.
Love Jesus Christ.
I love whales.
I like skinny, scrawny guys.
Waking up every day and still being fucking ugly.
I'm not a child, Heidi. I'm a grown man.
But the key is to make it. The key is never give up. The key is not to drive your jet ski in the dark.
You don't need nobody.
JoBodie. The first day of school.
Yo. Is today the first day of school?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Bro, apparently schools started in South Carolina like the first week of August.
First week of August?
Yeah, did you know that?
I thought it was like, when I was a kid, it was like in the 20s.
Yeah. Apparently they had a short summer this summer. That would suck.
You can't be giving the kids short summers.
It was like 2 whole weeks.
Summer that was the best part of childhood.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna, dude, the government's coming for
Actually,
everybody.
I really liked school. I but like I wasn't like a nerd. I wasn't a nerd. I just liked going not to my house.
Yeah. Based off all the stories I've heard of you in school, I'm surprised that you liked it.
Oh, I think
what?
I liked the chaos that I saw.
You liked the chaos.
I felt like I was in control.
You didn't like school. You liked just the environment of you destroying things.
Yeah.
Dude,
I was a little
like
crazy. I mean, I skipped a lot of classes. I would skip school a lot. I think I just liked not being home. I liked somewhat something to do every day.
That makes sense.
In the summer, you're just like, what do I do? You just flobbling around, you know, like, yeah. I don't know.
I feel like, I guess it would depend on the summer. Sometimes it would just be completely boring, and then sometimes it would just be like riding bikes, woods, dude. You didn't go in the woods. Oh yeah, you lived in New Jersey. It's kind of different
in the city.
when I think about it. Dude, I just went in the woods when I was a kid.
Yeah. Dude, when I was a kid, though, like real young, I think for the first, like from first grade all the way to like maybe sixth grade, every single summer I lived in Jersey, but I would go to Florida and live with my grandparents for the entire summer.
Did you like doing that?
Oh, I loved it. It was great. We had
just
like
a change of environment.
Yeah, we would get a season pass to like Busch Gardens in like Tampa, Florida.
And you told me that like your grandpa is hilarious to just sit and talk to.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I think that's why I really like old people, because like I was just like hanging out with them. We would like go visit their friends, and they're all like super old. It was, I don't know, it was fun. Like I got to basically do it. I was spoiled like for 3 months out of the year.
Oh yeah,
so it's really nice.
That's nice. What was like? Tell me something. What was the weirdest thing your grandpa said to you that you remember? That's like imprinted on your memory as a kid.
The weirdest thing.
Because I just remember you've had a couple stories like just telling me in person, but like I don't.
Dude, the weirdest.
Or like you told me you would just like mess with him all the time. Like he would just be chilling, eating cereal, and you would just sit down and you would just start asking him questions just to bother him.
Yeah.
I
think my grandfather used to be a very different man. When he was younger, apparently he used to drink a lot. And like ride motorcycles.
So he just like gave.
And like now he's like super religious and like old conservative man. Like, you know.
Dude, people really did just live. Like, they just switch life modes.
Yeah, I get like he literally like if you talk to him today, you would think he was a certain type of person in his 30s. He was a completely different person in his like 30s and 40s.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's normal for people to do.
But 30 years of life like changes a man. I don't know.
It does, but like people are trackable now. Like it's easy to find out what somebody
people are
trackable. Like you couldn't I mean, you could start over, but not really. Like people would be like, "Oh, you have this computer trail, this digital trail, this." But back in the day, dude, somebody could live a whole nother life in another state and then just leave and become somebody else.
I feel like
a completely different life.
I do feel like that's still possible.
It is. It's just not as. I guess it's not as accessible, maybe. But
it's like it's still possible, and
no,
like sure, possible. Like someone like if you just randomly move to like a small town in like North Carolina, like maybe some random person's gonna find out who you are,
right?
But like no one's really gonna care.
No one's really gonna care. I guess you just couldn't be active anyway. I guess you could just have to. You have to give up the internet. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. No, I think you can like just completely delete everything.
Yeah.
Or not even delete everything. Just create new accounts, new Gmails, new everything, right? Completely start a new life. Don't delete any of your old shit. And then like someone eventually is going to find the old you on the internet and either think this is like his twin that died 20 years ago because there's no pictures from the past 20 years, or this is him. And like, I feel like most people are gonna like just like they're not gonna care enough to be like cause a riot.
Yeah,
they're just
not
gonna be like, oh yeah, that's a Robert. He used to be Joseph, but now he's Robert.
Now he's a coal miner
and
in West Virginia,
and he just wants to go by Robert now. Like no one really cares. like
they all think you're like a trans person who ran away from home. They're like, they didn't accept me there.
Used to be Josephine.
Yeah. Like you just wore like really baggy clothing all the time, and they were like, he's hiding something. Like they just thought you were changing.
Dude, I don't
you
know.
think you could move and do all that without getting like a fake ID and like fake passport and all that, and becoming a new person, or could you just go off grid?
You don't even
and live kind of normally.
You don't really. I mean, I feel like you can just change your name legally.
I guess you could
and
do
get
that
all new
and then burn
you
all the
can
records.
Well, it's like, why do you need to burn it? First of all, who's
I'm not saying
out
this
there?
is just a homeless person. I'm just saying like if me or you, as we are now.
Well, I'm saying like why do you need like I don't get the point of having to destroy any evidence of the past you unless if there's a threat to your life. And if tomorrow I just decided to live a new life, there's no threat to my life of anyone knowing that I used to be who I used to be. So
that makes sense because you could just change the way you look and change your name, and then boom. Yeah. That is wild. I guess you can.
You can just change your life, bro. I mean, like, sure, if someone's out there looking for you.
How many people do you think really contemplate doing that?
Oh, dude, that probably happens a lot.
I mean, I guess everyone. I don't know.
I feel like, all right,
I've really never thought about doing that.
Your
like,
case,
I've seen it.
To your point, though, if you wanted to change your life and you want no one from your past to find you,
right,
or no one in your current life to know who you used to be, then yes, I would say it's harder. But if you don't care about those two factors, then I think it's just go and do it. Live your life, be a different person. I don't care. But I definitely think people left lives that they didn't want following them, and that used to be easier. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's true.
That used to be easier. I think that stuff probably happened a lot. Like in a lot.
Yeah. But dude, there's all those
internet.
stories about the 50s where like a guy would just be like, I'm gonna bang my secretary now, and I'm gonna move down 10 miles, literally. and they had 2 families.
I'm gonna move 2 towns away, and no one's ever gonna find me.
Like people would have dinner with 2 different families, multiple days a week, same night.
That's crazy.
And just beat 2 people. They would just go to the same job, and then because they're white, like dude, women were like they don't have 2-3 cars. They're not driving.
Yeah, they don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Hey, my cat.
That's actually wild.
My cat came in here.
What's up, Murphy?
He's fine.
Doing? Yeah, he's cool.
He might come in the shot if he's feeling frisky. He's sniffing everything. Dude, you know what's crazy is like it was so easy to what's the word? Like pretend there's someone else. Impersonate.
Oh, impersonate, yeah.
Dude, it used to be so easy to like cuz if anyone think about it back then before the internet, right? If anyone told you kind of look like anyone, you could just
pull them off.
Decide to just be like, well, that's just who I'm going to say I am now whenever I go anywhere. And
true.
At least 70% of the people that you tell that you're that person to is going to be like, yep.
Yeah. Oh, like the guy who told you that forgot to wear his glasses that day, and now you think you look like that person.
Yeah.
And you go and you tell everybody else, and they're just like, this guy does not look like Tom Cruise at all. I just feel this guy just had bad taste.
Bro, like in the 60s, like you could have just went into like any comedy club and be like, I'm Tim Dillon.
Oh yeah, like,
and they would have just been names. Like, "Oh shoot, like we got to give this man 30 minutes right now."
Yeah, because you hadn't seen anything. There's only like 2 channels.
If you go to like a small comedy club, and you're
like
just
in
like,
the 50s, dude,
you're just like, I'm Tim Dillon.
Like
I probably could have gone away with like if I was like
the Marvelous Miss Maisel type thing. Where like it's just Tim Dillon like ranting. He's just flashing his tits like she did in the first episode of that show.
Dude, yeah. Impersonating people that must be interesting. Like just pretending.
I've done that a few times, but but for casual settings, like I just like if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, or maybe you shouldn't go somewhere, just dress like you wouldn't normally dress, and then just somebody asks you your name, just don't say your real name or something. I don't know.
Well, that's being like that's like creating a new person.
Yeah, like but just doing it for a small period of time. Like if you're trying to go in a room, if you're trying to do something.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like getting my hair cut, or if I'm in any setting or like service type setting where someone's talking to me, I just like completely make shit up sometimes. Like,
Oh,
they'll be
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, what do you
exactly.
do for a living? I'm like, oh, I work in marketing.
Yeah.
I have a big deal with Coca-Cola coming up. Like, I'll make random stuff up all the time. I think one time I was getting my hair cut in New York, and I told somebody that I work I work in the film industry.
And were they just like cool?
They're like, oh, that's so cool. I was like, yeah, I got a really big film coming out. I was like, I'm
You're
in
like, what's the name of your film? And you're
I was like,
Shit.
I'm in the Tribeca Music Festival, like in the next couple months.
Oh,
and they're
nice.
like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, you should check it out. And I told them my real name and everything, so that they could like go and be like, oh, dude,
Yeah.
where is he? And
They
like,
look on your
he's just
Instagram
not. He's
and
not
he's
there.
not that at
yeah.
all. You're just a guy.
I think one time I told a barber that I was in law school. I just
Dude.
I'm being like dead.
Dude,
like this
that is actually impressive. Mine are way more embarrassing than that.
Oh, really? What do you
like
do?
mine would be like if
I
I'm
punch up. I punch up.
dude, I will like try to blend into the cultures I'm in.
Yeah.
You know? So if I'm like in a Food Lion in Gaston or something,
Okay.
and I'm in line at the grocery store, and everybody in front of me has like swamp monster tattoos on their calves.
Sure.
And they're like, Mountain Dew tattoos. Like it's just, meth
Mountain
and
Dew tattoo.
Yeah, I've seen that at the Food Lion there.
Whoa.
Yeah, and Swamp Monster and like a cool font.
They're big
A
fans.
swampy font. Like the thing is I can't just walk in there with like my typical posture and the way I look.
Sure.
Because I just look. I mean, I guess I could and just not care, but I'll just like I'll kind of like change the way I walk a little bit and
Yeah.
like make a thicker Southern accent and just try to come off as like I don't really know what I'm doing here, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. But that's insane because I shouldn't care what they think about me at all.
Yeah.
It's just like I just want these people to hear to not look at me and be like, this dude's different. If like this dude and his wife and like 4 other random men and women, they were like, he's different, get him. Like I don't want that to ever happen to me, dude. Like,
Dude, I mean in the
at
South
all.
though.
Yeah. Anyway, dude, if I'm in Portland, dude,
Even
Like,
Southern people don't
yeah.
like difference. They don't like.
when we were out west, dude, and the COVID first hit, I did not want to
Yeah.
be wearing the mask, but I was like, dude, I'm gonna wear the mask inside, dude, because I don't want to be the guy who's everybody staring at, dude. You know, it's like,
Oh, that's hilarious. I'm
Yeah.
the complete opposite.
well, I would like do it if no one like, but if it was, I guess when the pressure was on at first, I was like,
I did not care about
Yeah.
any social pressure.
but like I was just sitting there thinking like, dude, we just drove all the way 2 hours to go up here. I don't want to get kicked out of this REI right now.
Yeah.
Like it's just like,
Nah.
yeah, but I would just do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Dude,
but that's
I don't
what
know.
that's
I'm
what
trying
I
to think
think
of
of.
like
I'm
the craziest.
impersonating.
Probably the Tribeca Film Festival lie was the craziest lie I've told like a random person. Sometimes I tell my dentist I'm going on vacation when I'm not.
Just when you're there getting your cleaning.
Yeah, they're like, hey, you have anything coming up? Like, yeah, I'm going to New Zealand next month. Like, I think I've told my dentist that once or twice.
That is funny to like answer or tell things to dentists that make them want to ask you more questions.
Yeah.
Just to make their job harder.
Yeah.
Like while they're cleaning your teeth, and you just have to keep talking because they're so curious about what you're doing. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to New Zealand. And you
The
said
thing
they're
is-
like, oh really?
Yeah.
They're like, dude, don't ask me questions. You're cleaning my teeth, but
Yeah.
you just keep pushing them on.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not like I try to push them to ask more questions. I think I just like lying. Or
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I think I like lying. I think I like pretending like I have a better life than I have.
Oh, that's true. And then you're
Yeah.
actually getting to do that in your real life.
Yeah.
That's the fun part.
That's kind of true.
Yeah, because you just know like this is all fake. This is main character syndrome. This is what like this is
Dude,
what
this
yeah.
is definitely, yeah, I like am the main character.
Like
every
you're
dentist I
imagining
go
like
to.
what you would look like if the camera was there, and you're like, oh, that scene was so good, dude. You should have seen her.
Yeah,
when
I
I
think
told
I
her.
just like I like being able to tell somebody something. First of all, I think it's in my head. I think I'm trolling them more than anything.
Yeah, it's like
It's not just like I'm lying. It's like I just want to troll this person.
it's a prank that you never reveal and that they
Yeah.
never realize ever happened to them.
Yeah, and then also like I think it's just like better than saying like they're like, oh, you have anything coming up soon, and I'm just like,
No.
work,
Yeah,
sleep and eat, like just
I'm
normal.
just doing my life.
What
you
kind
know?
of question is that though? Like, who asks people like, "What you got going on?"
What you got going on?
It's like
Like
it's
none of your fucking
it's
business.
April. There's nothing to do in this time of year. Like, it's not like there's spring break. I'm not in school. Like, I
But
don't
it's
know.
also like no one really wants to know that. Like if somebody came up and asked me what's going
That's
on,
true.
I would imagine like I'm not ever gonna imagine that they're asking me what's going on in my life.
Yeah.
Like if it's some guy at the grocery store walks in, like, hey, what's going on? I'm gonna like be looking around. I'm gonna be like, what is going on, dude? Like,
what's going on?
that's an
over here?
aggressive question these days. Like, I don't want to be asked that.
That is an aggressive question.
Yeah, dude. If I'm just out there shopping for groceries, don't come up and ask me anything.
Oh, what's
dude.
going on?
Like if you are in danger or something or you're stressed, fine. But if somebody was like, hey, where's the I don't work here. Don't be talking to me.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man? Like call me. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Like, dude, so what if we were at the high school together? Don't ever talk to me again. Like, no, I've never said that in anybody's face. That would be like contradictory to my like nature of like wanting to get along with people.
Gosh.
If I will look at somebody who I was friends with in high school, if I run into him in public and be like, dude, man, what's up? Hey. And then I'll be like, all right, I gotta go. And then I'll just walk off and I'll say it like really nice.
Dude, I never remember anyone from high school. It hasn't happened much recently, but definitely while I was in college, almost every other time I would go to Lexington, to a Walmart, a Publix, any Food Lion, Dollar
any
Tree,
place you can buy food.
Sleep Mattress Store, World Market, all those places.
Best Buy,
yes, all the places, all the good places. I was always like just walking randomly, and someone would look at me, and I'd kind of look at them. I'd be like, I don't think I know who that is. And then like maybe like 20 minutes later, they walk up to me and they're like, hey, Joseph. And I'm just like, first of all, have you been following me for the last 20 minutes? Like, have you been like thinking about what my name is for 20 minutes, and then you finally remembered it, so you ran up to me? And I'm just like, hey, like, who are you?
Or like, or you don't even realize you owed them like 4 favors still. Like they saved your ass some time back in, like they like got you the answers for something. Or
favors have expiration dates.
Yeah, dude.
The expiration date
is when you get that diploma.
Dude, the expiration date is when I forget who you are.
Yeah. Oh, that's
true. If I don't remember who you are, I don't owe
you anything.
Any promises we made is negated.
It's negated. If I don't remember you at all. If the way you look and sound and appear to the world is completely different than when I know you from.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
it's just no.
It could be
like,
any dollar amount of any loan.
I used to hate it when someone was like, Joseph, what's up? How you been? I'm like, hey, and then I would like awkwardly pretend like I still know them. But now, after that happened like at least twice, I realized like I don't really care if people know that I forgot who they are. So I just like tell them straight up. I'm like, hey, I don't remember who you are. And they're just like, oh, like we worked at Chick-fil-A together, or like, oh, we were in English class, or we were in choir together. And I was like, oh, cool.
Dude, I would just ask people as many questions as possible until I can figure it out.
I just straight up tell them.
I'll do. That's if I'm interested in knowing.
I'll straight up tell them. I'm like, I have no idea who you are. And they're just like,
Have you ever got like a negative reaction from doing that?
No, they're
all. Oh, okay. Well, then I just need to abandon this mindset completely.
People don't care.
No, I just mean like if there's somebody who I knew that like I don't remember their name, but I know that I was never their friend or whatever, and they come up to me and they're like, oh no, even if they don't remember me, I'll literally just be like, yeah, we probably know each other. When I should just be like, no, even though I know we do, but I'll just be like, yeah, but you don't remember me and I don't remember you.
Well, every once in a while I'll run into someone where I'm like, you look really familiar. They're like, yeah, you look familiar too. And then if none of us remember each other, then I'll start asking questions. I'm like, where did you go to high school? Right?
Yeah.
Like random questions.
And then
like
you ask
that.
them a question. The first question, they just know for a fact. You remember exactly why you don't like that person off the bat. And you're like, I regret asking this person any question at all. Dude, Murphy's always going to come in here, I feel like.
Oh, dude, I have the door open. I have the door open this week.
Watch this. I'm just going to get him.
Yeah, he likes to play fetch, guys. He's a cool cat.
I thought he was going to go. But he's cool. Dude, we haven't shown him yet, but he'll like climb on your back and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's.
I've never seen a cat as like acrobatic as him.
He'll like sit on your shoulders like a
All right.
Okay, Murph. Anyway, he'll sit on your shoulders like a parrot. It's kind of cool. You can just walk around and he'll follow you. But it looks like he's just cutting up against you because he haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
So he likes you. Did a little backflip. Anyway,
like
enough about the cat.
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry. We're like getting distracted by cool animals.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Let's
see. Let me think about. Oh yeah, we got to talk about the fires, dude. Because I've been trying to figure out what is going on, and I've legit I actually not today, but I've done some research on what there's nothing conclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Like some people think it's fires. I'm not doing the joke. I'm just
Which
saying.
Which fires are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fires that are in Maui.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting into the morning news.
Oh yeah.
I
CNN or Fox.
Dude, I'll just scroll through. I go through them all.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't like news. Okay,
It's like an
they'll
everything
play.
bagel.
They'll play
for the
like 2
news.
minutes of news. Like they'll play one, like little like segment, and then 5 minutes of commercial, and then 2 minutes of like it's just all commercials. So that's annoying. But recently, I've been trying to get up like earlier in the morning, and like I need like a decent like 30 minutes to like wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll like get up at like 6 or 6:15. I'll get a coffee, and then we have a TV out back on the little patio. So
You're
I'll
like,
like
I'm gonna
throw
watch
on.
the news.
I'll throw on the news while I drink my coffee and like maybe do some yoga, and I'm just like watching the news. And yeah, I heard about the fires, and I was like, dang, that really sucks. It like a whole like town burned down. It looked.
Did you like look into it at all?
No, I'm not that interested.
Yeah, I like looked
but
into it
I
some.
feel bad.
Oh, you're not interested in it? Okay.
Oh no! I just.
Oh no,
I
I'm
just
saying like.
I don't have time to look things
Oh,
up, but I
yeah.
do feel bad.
No, I didn't like spend like hours on it or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I just dived into like a couple different things on like. I just probably tried to skim through like a few articles and like read a few. I just like searched on Twitter like about the fires and then just try to find different accounts to read on or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, but it makes sense, dude. I think it could be some direct energy weapons type thing, like legit. I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm not saying like I'm not the conspiratorial side to where it's like like a certain type of people are doing it, no, but like it's legit. I'm like there's
Wait, I have a
videos
question.
of it where it's just blowing
So I have
up.
a question. So
Yeah.
are they like asking all these things? So basically, they don't know what started the fires. The only thing
That's the big
let me-
discrepancy
Let me
about it.
premise this. The only thing I know about the fires
Is
is
they-
that they were fires,
Gotcha.
and that I
Yeah,
think like
yeah.
100 people died.
Yeah.
Or the last time I watched the news, the count was at 100. Very very sad.
Very
I
sad.
don't know,
Very
like-
sad.
Very sad. Thoughts and prayers. So is like the question like who started the fire? They don't know.
Right.
No one knows.
Yes. No, that's the conspiracy or the like that's what the big question is.
Yeah.
Is what started the fires. And I mean wildfires are not uncommon. I mean
Yeah.
it's not that they're common, but they happen in Hawaii some, but I read I don't exactly remember all the science behind it, but it was saying something about where the hurricane was near the island. It wouldn't make sense for the fires to happen as they did, given the location and the strength of the hurricane and like how fast it was traveling. They were saying that because the reported news was like it was caused by this type of storm, which interacted with the weather somehow to create these fires in this one area, right? But it was just like all of these houses in this poor section of Hawaii that was next to all this like very wealthy property.
Yeah.
And the last week or so, people have been asking about. I don't know, but essentially, the fires don't have a pattern of like a normal burning. It's just buildings and cars being burned down. It's not like wildlife and trees and all these things around it, and it just doesn't match what's being said about like the weather that was being claimed to cause it,
Yeah.
And there was just like a bunch of videos out there, but all those videos could be fake. That's the whole thing. You just never know. And the videos looked like they were beams of light coming down onto the houses and
trees
blowing up.
So no trees
Yeah.
got burnt?
No trees in these neighborhoods got burnt.
What? Wait. So
Nowhere. They're just green trees.
But like how close were these trees to the houses?
I mean, they're just palm trees sparse here and there. It's not like dense, thick oaks and stuff that you would see like down here in the south.
What?
But
So like
everything else burned to a crisp.
So is it like one house got on fire first, and then that spread to another house, and then to another house, and then to a car, and then to a house? And is it because the trees are like back a ways that they didn't catch on fire?
That could be what it is.
Yeah.
But given how everything
that's too
is so
smart.
destroyed, like that is smart. Like, but it's not like the trees
They're
are.
not smart. That's too simple.
Yeah, it's not like the
That's too
trees are
simple.
25 yards away from the house.
Yeah.
Like if there's a house completely burning down,
Yeah.
and all of the cars and all of the asphalt on the street is melting, then that's going to generate so much heat with a windstorm that a hurricane is being claimed to cause this, that would blow it into the trees and at least burn some of them.
I guess so.
All the trees were unscathed, and then there were just parts of the road where it was like this whole road would be blasted.
Could the trees
and
be
then
too
they'd skip
wet
a
to
whole other
burn
road.
down?
I doubt it. I mean, the houses would be wet if it was weather, but there have been videos
Yeah, but
that were.
there's dry things inside of houses too. It's just the outside of the house that's wet.
Yeah, it's just that the videos that the people who live there were posting didn't look like weather destroying it. It was just people
Yeah.
driving in cars through fire,
Uh-huh.
and you could just see houses blowing up one after another.
That's crazy.
Like, it wasn't like, oh, these houses are on fire. It was like, oh, these houses aren't on fire. Poof. And it was like, this house catches on fire, and then this house catches on fire instantly. Like,
Yeah.
and so it was like this weird thing where it was like, okay, maybe they're talking about some direct energy weapon. I started looking that shit up,
Yeah.
and it goes deep. It goes to, like, DARPA stuff,
Okay.
like, which is but a part of the Department of Defense. It's like a secret weapon, not
Yeah.
secret, like, it's public. People know about it or whatever. They just fund weapons and research and science shit,
Yeah.
But it's like that's something that people well known or scientists are working on, is making those kinds of things. It's just basically lasers. It's just basically giant lasers is what a DEW is. I don't know exactly what the scientific difference is, but
It's
and
not-
the reason why people are claiming that
I
is
just feel like
because-
I'm like overall skeptical person.
yeah.
Because I feel like when people talk a lot about conspiracy theories or theories in general, I feel like there's always a little bit of a stretch or things that they ignore in order for them to believe that theory.
Right.
Where it's like, before you believe that like DARPA is blowing up houses in Hawaii, why don't you just think about like, okay, how long does it take for a house to go from not on fire to on fire?
Right.
And how long does it take for a house to transfer one fire to another? Because I've watched videos of houses catching on fire, and a house will like catch on fire like that. Like, everything in a house nowadays is completely flammable, like
Right.
highly flammable.
Right.
So it's like a normal house will like that's why like people say like trees, like Christmas trees, are so freaking dangerous. Because if a Christmas tree catches on fire in your house, your entire house is gonna burn down in like minutes. Like, not like minutes, I don't know like the actual time,
But it can
like,
be like within
like
10 or 15 minutes.
it won't burn down completely in minutes, but it will be completely on fire in minutes, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, right.
But like, I just remember like thinking before I like looked up that type of stuff, I was just thinking like, I feel like it takes a long time for a fire to grow and turn into like a massive like house fire. But
I guess
it really
like the way I'm
doesn't take
looking
a
at
long
it,
time.
the way I'm looking at it is I don't even believe that it was that kind of shit. I don't even know if
Yeah.
it was I don't even know if they exist. Like, is when I think about like my
Wait, they don't exist.
oh no, what I'm saying
The
is that
Department
they,
of Defense doesn't exist.
oh no, not them. No, I'm saying the DEWs, like the direct
Oh.
energy weapons, like
Yeah.
because like the only thing.
So laser.
Right, like the way I think about the way knowledge is presented to us on like phones and social media is I never look at something as 100%. Never look at something as like that's what happened. I think about like what was claimed to happen and what were the events that are either shown to unfold about it or what are presented about before it happened. And then I try to see which one makes the most sense based on like any evidence that whether it's like videos.
Sure.
And so to me, it's like, okay, well, I don't even know about the weapons. That could be whatever. But like the fires with the hurricane don't make any sense with the way the neighborhoods are destroyed.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay, that one street is destroyed, and then the one like right next to it, this intersection, is just normal.
Dang.
It's like all these cars are melted to a crisp. The asphalt is non-existent. It's just like this blob.
Yeah.
And then the very
I mean,
next street
I
is
saw
just
some videos
normal.
on the
And I was like,
news.
what?
Yeah.
You
So
know?
what's normal?
Like the very next street. It'd be like if you're in a neighborhood street and the entire thing is destroyed, all the houses and the cars,
Yeah.
and then the very next street over is just fine.
Yeah.
Like completely. Like this, like the asphalt's not melted whatsoever.
I don't know. I'm
No, so
I'm just
that's-
overall a spectacle
yeah.
person. Like
I just
like,
I'm
have
like,
you
well,
ever seen
why?
it?
Why
Have you ever seen
are
it
they saying it's
rain? Have you ever
fires?
seen it rain and then like you can visibly see like where the rain stops?
Yeah, I can
Like
see that.
if you were to tell me, if I've never seen that and you were to tell me right now that that exists, I'd be like, bro, that doesn't exist. If it rains, it rains. I wouldn't like think that you can look down a field
right.
and be in rain and then step a foot this way and then completely not be in rain.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not saying that because that happens that the fire thing could happen, but what I'm saying is like, I just feel like it's just like science stuff that like your average Joe ain't gonna, that has a Twitter account that's
Yeah.
writing about this stuff completely understands.
That's why it's like sometimes
So
I
it's
just have to
like,
read it
you
and think
know?
about like, all right, well,
Yeah, like read it and then like think about like, okay, like is there possibly, like whenever I read stuff like that, I'm like, that's weird. And then I'm like, but is there possibly something here that I just don't understand? Yes. And then I
Dude,
just like,
that's when I just
and
choose to
stopped
ignore
thinking
it,
about
dude.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But like when I say
and then
choose
you
to
just
ignore it, like I'll
yeah.
just in my mind, I'll be like this. This is what I'll think. I'll be like, okay, I logged that event.
Yeah.
I logged the Maui fires.
Sure.
We don't know what happened.
It's in your brain.
Yeah, because I
Another
look at
conspiracy
I
in the
look at
books.
well, it's not even that. It's just like one of the things where it's like, oh, it's whatever it is. It's some bullshit.
Yeah.
It was because there's something sketch going on with it, and it's like, well, if it's gonna be sketch, right? Like if it's not gonna be. If like government officials and all these people, if things aren't going to be communicated clearly, and you know all this stuff about like why the sirens not go off when they're like the best system the military has,
Dang.
when all that stuff doesn't add up to me, it's like, well, it doesn't matter what it really was. It's just not what it's being said that it is.
Yeah.
And then I'm
probably
just
true.
like, all right, well then that means that anytime anybody ever tries to say something about the Maui fires to me, that means there's something nefarious behind it, and I'm just gonna ignore it. Like literally, that's what it is. Or it's like in
Yeah.
10 years, somebody's like, "Hey, what do you like?" If somebody's ever like, "You shouldn't do that" or "do that because of that," I'm like, "Fake." That's literally what it is. And it has nothing to do with the victims. Like they got caught in between either nature or man or something,
Yeah.
and that's nothing to do with them. That's nothing to disrespect them. Not to say it's fake. I'm just saying that because it's not. I'm just saying that my reaction is gonna be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
That's
You know?
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like with everything. Once it doesn't make any sense, then you're like, well, I can't spend my whole life making sense of it. But like, that used to never happen when we were young, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was only one thing here or there. You know, it was
That's
like, okay, we don't understand this. A few years later, it'd be like, okay, the tsunami. It was just every now and then. And then now it's like, okay, now that they have these things that make money, like in our hands or whatever, like these like social media companies, like there's always going to be something that they're going to want you to try to figure out because it gets you on there. What do you think about that?
Well,
Or do you think we're just now being more aware of like there's just a lot more shit happening?
no, it's like basically what I heard you say, and I don't know if this is what you said.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna reiterate it. What I heard you say is that social media companies are purposely pushing the story so that we are on it and that we can figure it out, right?
Yeah, kind of. Or like, let's say it really was very simple and it was just simple wildfires.
Yeah. So hold on, wait. Let me finish my point.
Oh,
I was
okay,
just-
okay, my bad.
I said right, as in like is that
Oh,
what you
yeah,
said?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Essentially, like, yeah.
Yeah. So what I would say though is social media companies create a platform for people to converse. And if the city created a park or a theater or auditorium for
Oh,
people
yeah,
to
yeah.
converse, and then people just walk in there and naturally converse, you can't really say that the city is causing the conversation, like steering the conversation. It's more just like the people in there are decide. So it's like, you get what I'm saying? Like, is it social media companies pushing certain narratives and pushing certain like topics? Like, sure, probably certain ones, but like every single one, like every single time, like maybe. But like, is it also just like a big social issue that everyone wants to talk about? Yeah. But it's like, which one came first? Is it a big social issue because everyone wants to talk about it because the social media apps push it?
Yeah.
Or is it, do people want to talk about it and the social media companies realize people want to listen to it, so they push it? You know?
Right.
It's like, which one's happening? You know, that's kind of like my mindset is like, well, it's like if they just want to make money, then yeah, they would push stuff that people are talking about. So they're just looking out for what people are talking about, and then they're pushing that. So it's like technically the people came up with it first. Now they're keeping the conversation going. I would argue.
Give me an example
that.
of how something like this would play out based on what you're saying.
Okay, so today, let's say in Columbia, South Carolina, there's a huge fire.
Right.
Right? Let's say tomorrow, social media doesn't know about it, right? Like the apps, the companies, people, no one's like pushing anything yet.
Yeah.
But let's say overnight, millions of people are in America all start posting about it.
Right.
Then now tomorrow morning, social media companies now realize this is a hot topic, and then they push that story out for us to figure out what happened in Colombia.
Oh, shoot.
So what I'm saying is like the social media companies aren't creating the story so that we are on our phones more. The people, like if there was a fire in Colombia and 2 people in the USA talked about it on social media,
Right.
then they'd be like, all right, no one's interested in this, and then they're just not going to push it.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, see that makes more sense about why you think that's what I was saying, because I didn't realize. Okay, so what I mean by pushing it, I just mean like the existence of social media is incentivizing the lack of truth being told to the public at a efficient like at a quick manner and in an accurate way.
Yeah.
That's what more I'm thinking. What more I'm thinking is like there would really be no reason, like if there was a bunch of companies that could make a lot of money if more people looked at their content and saw the ads and there was an entire industry for advertising and marketing. I'm not saying if that whole industry didn't exist. I'm just saying that it kind of like back in the day when we were younger, there wasn't a lot to contribute to like withholding like truth. There wasn't like a lot of things incentivizing withholding the truth from people because people just talk about it and then like figure it out. But nowadays it's like, oh, well, there's a lot of incentive to, say, like, for example, with the Hawaii fires thing, there's a 12-mile media blackout. No mainstream media or independent journalists are allowed to visit within a particular zone. Yeah. And so in my mind, if that's being enforced by the military, it's like, what is it about this wildfire that happened here that makes it to where people can't go figure out what happened? Why can't, like, isn't that important for the homeowners, for the local government, for the insurance companies, like for every single thing involved within that piece of land? Sure. And in my mind, it's like, well, what happened? Well, what can happen is that all the other people that don't have access can just come up with what they think happened. And they can come up with all these conspiracies and they can do all this and then they can have everybody talk about it online, and then there's this whole thing to be, there's this whole like enterprise behind that. And so maybe there's I'm not saying that it's the direct cause. I'm just saying it's like more of a symptom of like, what is it about like, and the bounty fire is just one thing. Like there's a lot of other things where it's like there's something where it's like, why can't, there's a huge piece of information missing from the public. And it's like, who's in control of that? Like, why? I don't understand. Like, why don't we have access to, like, what? Yeah. Why can't I just go
what
fly
I'm saying,
over there?
It sounds like what you're saying, though, is the reason why that piece of information is not being shared with the public is because social media companies exist.
That's like what I'm saying to a degree.
And that's what I'm saying is false.
Oh, I'm just saying it's like true to a degree. What I'm saying is like before social media companies, that piece of information was still not shared with the public, but there wasn't a massive platform for millions of people across state lines and across countries to talk about it. But they would probably still talk about it, just not online. They would talk about it at a bar or on the street or at their mom's house, at dinner. Okay, yeah.
What I'm saying is like now that social media companies exist and now you can talk to anyone in the world in a second, like, it's the same conversations are happening just on a larger scale. I don't think I don't think anyone's withholding information on purpose so that social media companies.
So is there not really a correlation between like our like a human being's knowledge of not like, okay, how do I explain this? Okay, so when I was saying earlier, when we were younger, I feel like when we were kids, when larger events happened, it didn't seem like there was as much controversy around it. And is that more of a function of that information that was being withheld just didn't get out? Like you're saying, it just didn't get out to the public, or
it's
or
not
is
that
it like
I'm sure. I think there was still controversy. It's just probably people
just didn't
even know that there were controversy.
Yeah, because there wasn't like a social media type of thing.
Because if something back in the day were to happen, the only way people hear about it is through the news, and those news organizations are obviously gonna just talk however they talk according to whatever agenda they want to, right? And then you yourself talk to your friends at a bar, your family members. So you only have your personal point of view, and there's no one around you that probably has a different opinion.
Now you have a larger one with
now you
stuff.
Can post it online where someone from the middle of New York City or the middle of Dubai or the middle of anywhere in the world
can have their
just
own view
say
of it.
that a completely different opinion that you have, and boom, controversy.
Right.
So what I'm saying is like there was probably still controversy. It just wasn't necessarily like out there. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
Like I'm trying to figure out if it's like a helpful or it's if having that like accessibility
think
to
it's
that.
helpful.
If it's like helpful for people actually discovering the
maybe.
truth, or is it like hindering the ability for people to like filter like what's being presented to them, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. it's just funny with everything. Like, cause it's less to do with the fires and more to do with just like, man, every single thing I'm tired of seeing where you're like, that's strange. And you're almost just like, it's kind of just like, all right, well, let's move on, you know, from it. But
Yeah.
it's like, but then you're like, okay, well, there's like 100 plus something people died. Like, what the heck, you know? Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
kind
really
of
sad.
would be sick to know what happened, you know,
Yeah.
like and stuff like that. And you're like, all right, well, you know,
I think
hopefully
it's
that
just
doesn't happen
really,
to me.
it really just depends on what your feed is.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
Like
my
you might
feed
get it on
has-
one thing and then the other
Well,
one's
it's like
totally
my feed
different.
has nothing about any of this. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's why I am completely clueless about like any conspiratorial thing
And
or
also
any
only
controversial topics. Because all of my feed is like comedy, history, cooking, farming, beekeeping recently for some reason.
yeah.
Dude, TikTok has got me on some I'm on
Dude,
I'm on B-Talk, bro.
You're
I'm
on
on B-Talk. Dude, I am, bro.
Do
Dude,
people get stung on
beekeeping?
B-Talk, or are they like, nah, we got this in
Oh,
the bag?
dude, I
they
feel
wear
okay.
clothes.
I want to keep bees now. TikTok made me do it. I can't keep bees
Can't keep bees,
where
bro.
I currently live.
No.
But I could get someone who has a house to let me have a hive at their house, and I just go over there once a week and take care of the hive. Because you only have to take care of it once a week. You just show up. You're like, hey, what's up, bro?
Dude, good luck convincing somebody of that. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
let me have a beehive at your house, dude.
Dude,
Why? So I
there's
can
a-
come by and feed them.
There's
like,
a
what?
lot of
Get
there's
your
a
own
lot of
bee.
benefits of having bees. Anyway, dude.
Okay,
TikTok-
because you've been on B-Talk, so you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know all the benefit. You're like, they'll pollinate your flowers, they'll do all
Yeah,
this stuff.
dude.
Yeah, dude, you can go get
Everyone
honey out
wins.
of it. Well, I can't do it. Well, I can for you. Well, then you just have them yourself, bro. Like, it circles back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you can like make a profit too off of the honey and the wax and stuff.
yeah, dude. I
mean,
get the weirdest. See, TikTok is the one where I would imagine I would get conspiracy ones, but I never do.
Really?
Like, I get those on Twitter.
See, I'm never on Twitter.
And like I've literally scrolled through and like muted and blocked so many people because I'm just trying to scroll and see the people who I follow
Yeah.
and people like that. I thought like the For You page on Twitter would push
You
people
mean
that.
X, right?
Oh yeah, I'm not calling it that. Fuck that, dude. I'm not calling it X.
X.
I'm not calling it that. It can look like that on the app and they can call that on their logo, but it's kind of like a Facebook with Meta. Like I'm not gonna call it Meta.
Dude, I think my question about X is like it used to be called a tweet. Now what is it just called an X?
A repost and a post.
It's just called a post.
Yeah, like it says post on X or repost.
It
on
used to
X.
say tweet, right?
That's so dumb. Repost. Tweet is so much better.
Retweet. Dude, retweet. You're taking away
You're
the
taking away RTs. We're gonna be RPs, rips.
RPs, rip.
Yeah, taking rips, dude.
Where's the I?
Hey, rip my post, bro.
Rip my
instead of
post.
instead of retweet my. I guess
retweet.
retweet my tweet does sound pretty stupid too.
Retweet my tweet.
Retweet my tweet, or like say like yo, you can say hey, go retweet that. You have to say that.
Yeah. So all the controversial topics are, I guess, like your controversial feed is Twitter.
It's Twitter.
Yeah.
And I have blocked people because it's like I've never seen this before. Now I got very interested in the fires because it was just like you're scrolling and it's just like everything's on fire for each video, you know,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh my god, dude, what's going on?
Yeah.
And that's what like got me down in the searching for it. But the rest of Twitter, I'll just be like, this is fake. Like I'll find some cool little comedy accounts or whatever. People just post memes or videos
Yeah.
and follow them, and I would imagine that it would push more of those to me. But it'll push like It'll push like people who do like just political memes and stuff,
Yeah.
and I will never retweet them or any of that. And it's like, how is this getting into my algorithm? When it's like I'm scrolling, I have to literally just. It's like I don't want to be on the app I'm literally just hitting the X like button on these sponsors
Yeah.
and just saying like, okay, mute this person. I'll be like noticing somebody comes to my feed. I'm like, this person's coming to my feed every day this week from out of nowhere. Block. And like and it's not like I know, hey, they're not even posting bad
Yeah.
stuff. It's like financial stuff and like stuff about like
And screw
houses,
finances.
like boats. People talking about boats.
Dude,
people talking
screw
about
boats.
yeah.
Dude, what if
People talking
what
about
if-
how to build a
do you
business.
think Twitter has your location?
Oh, of course they do. Every one of those has them, dude. There's
Dude,
nothing wrong with
why
that.
why else would they show you boats? Where do you live?
Oh yeah, we live I live in Lexington, so that's like right near Lake Murray.
You live on the lake.
Yeah, I pretty much live. Yeah,
Your
the neighborhood in there
location
is on the lake.
is
yeah.
literally right next to
I didn't
the
think
lake.
about that, dude. Oh shoot, I need to like every time I'm on my phone, I need to run like 3 miles away, and then do it, and then Google
And then
search
you start
something.
getting running ads.
I start getting running. I'm like buying Dr. Scholl's just so I can like look up cooking recipes.
Dude, you're buying like Holkas.
Yeah. I'm just getting Hokas and Brooks and stuff like that. Like I've got like a whole. I've got Fleet Feet in my house now.
Yeah, dude.
But
Yeah,
I
I
would say
don't-
TikTok is a great one just for cool things. That's what I like about
Yeah.
TikTok is that it'll show you. Like I've been getting a lot of skateboarding ones on TikTok
Ooh,
recently, and I don't skateboard.
It's cool
You
to
know?
watch though.
It's fun to watch. It's like I mean I used to skateboard. Like there was a little phase there
Yeah.
in my early days, but once I realized I wasn't good at it and I can only do like certain things, I was like, oh, I'm out of here. Well, I was like, okay, or you could like the guys who became like kind of good by the end of high school. They were like, oh, we're just gonna like break every bone in our body and fall 1,100 times. And I was
that's
like,
what it takes though.
and I was like, wait a second, that is what it takes to like go to the next level. I'm not doing that. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm good. I'll stick to other things, dude. I'm out. I'm
yeah,
off
I've
the
seen
wheels.
people like fall literally just like on their face, like blood
Yeah.
everywhere.
Dude, I
just
fell
like-
so hard on a longboard the start of my senior year of high school. I just
Yeah,
like whole side of my body, all of my leg, completely
like scratched up.
red. Like I was going like almost 40 miles an hour on a longboard, and I just had to bail because I got the speed wobbles, and I just
Yeah,
I tried to jump in the grass, straight asphalt.
I did
rolled.
the same thing and cracked my wrist a good bit. I didn't think I broke it
Oh,
though.
dude.
I never went and got an
I'm
X-ray.
not there's a certain age where you should just not be on wheels anymore. On 4 wheels. Standing up. It's like, yeah, let's drive this car that has crumple zones and a seatbelt.
Yeah,
And it's like, no, just stand with the thinnest shoes possible on
And
a
a
board.
board.
Your feet aren't strapped in. Okay, that would actually be worse on a skateboard if you fell and your feet
it's
were strapped
like
in. But
yeah,
like,
it's like let's put you on a board and let you go 40 miles per hour.
Yeah.
In
but
a
either way, you're gonna
25.
yeah. We were speeding. We were speeding in a neighborhood.
25.
It is funny that you would speed in the neighborhood with a skateboard. There had to be some movie where somebody got pulled over for doing that, and like as a
Probably,
joke. I've never
yeah.
seen that though.
Yeah, there was one
man.
one neighborhood in Lexington where everyone wanted to skate at and you weren't allowed to.
Which one?
Governor's Grant.
Oh, dude, Governor's Grant connected with the back of my old neighborhood.
Yeah, you
And
weren't
we
allowed
would-
to
yeah.
skate in Governor's Grant apparently.
Yeah. Well, that's the neighborhood where I
You
fell
fell?
on the longboard. Yeah.
It's a
There
good
was a big
neighborhood.
hill
There's
there.
a
I don't know
good-
if it's the
a
same
good
one. I'm trying to
neighborhood.
remember which one it was.
Yeah,
It's too long ago to remember like the patterns of the neighborhood in my head. But it was just and like a couple other guys had their longboards, and this one kid had a paddle. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
When I first saw that, I was like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of, dude. You look like you're trying to kayak while you freaking longboard.
Yeah.
And then I saw like the cool shit you could do with it, and he's like doing cool stuff with it. You know, he's like fucking twirling it around. And he's like chilling. He's chilling
It's
with
like
it
figure
like this.
skating.
Yeah, he's like chilling with it while he's cruising.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like underneath his arm, so it
Yeah.
just looks like he's hanging on it, and it's like kind of balancing. And I was like, that looks cool. I'm gonna try that. And I tried that and was going down the hill, and both cars, like there was a party or something at somebody's house, who knows? But all these cars were parked on this side,
Yeah.
and all these other ones were parked on the other side for a different house.
Mhm.
But there was one part where they overlapped, and so it made the road really narrow.
Yeah.
And when I went through that, I gained enough speed to where I got speed wobbles. And I literally was just chilling like this, and so I had to ditch that thing, and that made me fall. But if I would have fell with my arms locked like this, I would have just broken everything. I would have just broken both forearms, elbows, dude. I would have just been over. So I just tossed my buddy's thing and then
Yeah.
just fall and roll, dude. I would. If I had never decided to just waste 3 years of my life wrestling for no reason, I would have died on that roll because I just instinctively knew how to roll.
Yeah.
From all those practices and just like rolled and saved my life. If
Oh,
not,
that
I
would've-
would have
hurt.
spread eagled and just
that would have
scraped my face.
That would have been real bad.
But instead, it was just the side of my body.
Yeah, I think in PE class when you're in like 3rd grade, they should teach you how to fall.
They should, yeah.
They should have like teachers just like pushing kids
If it wasn't for that, yeah, just like
on concrete. too.
everybody line up. Just just don't even tell them what's gonna
It's
happen.
like the final exam is
Yeah.
like on just like asphalt.
Learning how
and
to fall.
You just like you get pushed off of like 3 feet
Yeah,
of,
even
like-
on just the basketball court, though,
Yeah.
if you're like a third grader, there's like an adult man just coming up and he's like, all right, everybody, stand and face that way. There's not
One
even
at a time.
Yeah, it's not even like they're blindfolded. He just goes, shoves them as hard as he can with one arm. He's like, listen,
Why would they
you
be
gotta,
blindfolded?
I don't know, because then they would know it's coming. The whole point is a surprise physical test. No, it's like you make them do all the
Surprise.
you make them do all the push-ups first and all the pull-ups and run the mile. You make them do the whole physical test.
Dude, what's
So
the
they think it's
test?
the last-
What's the
they think it's
physical test?
legit.
Is that what it's called? Like
Or like the
run
presidential fitness test.
Yeah.
Did you ever do that?
Yeah, dude. I just whenever you said surprise physical test, I just like imagined like being in like English class and like you start hearing the sound like everyone get down on their knees. It's like 15 push-ups. 1,
Dude,
2.
when I think of surprise physical test, I think of it more as like when you're getting a physical for that year of sports, and it's like you're just sitting there in math class, like learning how to do fractions, or like not even that's too young. All right, we're past that math.
Yeah.
Like you're learning how to do like pre-calculus or
Sure.
something, or geometry. We'll go with that, and
Yeah.
then just some like hot nurse just opens the door and she's just like, Joe, it's time for your surprise physical. Come on down. And you're like, all right, guys, it's for my, it's for football
It's
next
for
year.
football.
It's just
Surprise
they
physical.
just come up and they just do it in the bathroom.
Dude, with all these kids, shooting up nowadays, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if they
Oh,
had
yeah.
surprise physicals.
That's like a surprise mental health physical. That's what they
Yeah.
need on some kids. They're like this dude for some reason started bringing Naruto books to class.
Oh my
He just
God.
got a Jansport black backpack. He changed his hair color. It's like he needs a surprise
He
like
needs a
mental health
surprise
visit.
Dude, what if like schools can just give you a drug test like a job can? Just like,
Dude, I
it's
think
just
the
like,
schools
you've
might
been
need that.
randomly
Dude.
selected. Go pee in this
been
cup in the
selected.
bathroom. Dude, what if schools
boy.
need to be way more
Spread them.
spread 'em. Schools need to be way more strict about some of it. I think everything in schools should be a surprise. I think they should get rid of schedules. Get
That
rid
would
of
be sick.
everything. You just walk into school, you go to like your homeroom,
Yeah.
and then just like shit starts happening
Yeah, they make you sit on a different colored square every day in kindergarten.
every day.
You're like, dude, I liked the back left blue square. Okay. Yeah.
You're in a different room
Yeah.
every day. You
You're
just
just-
you just walk into school and they just
Today you're in 5th grade. And you're
Yeah.
like, what?
What?
Yeah.
it's like today you are graduating.
But if they made it reasonable, that would actually be tight. If it was the
Yeah.
same grade and everything. Like, if it could all be the same. It could just be you don't know which of the subjects you're gonna have first.
Yeah.
You don't know like which of your teacher's husband yelled at him last night and how they're gonna feel. You don't know like they don't and
You don't know
they always
anything.
and they always change. Like they give you they rotate the hot girls in your grade in your class for you. They do that for the fellas.
For
If
the
you got a
fellas.
good VP, if you got a good vice principal,
Yeah.
shout
they
out Vice
change
Principal
like
Livingston.
they surprise which kid goes through
Yeah.
puberty first.
yeah.
It's just like every week
Just, yeah. They're
somebody
like
has
sneaking
chest hair.
blockers in the tee. They're like sneaking puberty blockers in the tee. Like he's on it too fast. we got to slow Jamal down, dude.
There's like one chair that has like a fart machine in it, and they just like let it go off every once in a while,
Oh yeah,
and then
they just-
everyone makes fun of. They switch out who the bullies are, and who the
Yeah.
nerds are.
You could set up an elementary school room like an escape room to where like
Yeah.
it affects the hierarchy of the social structure of the like it would not be good for the developmental psychology because they
No.
would be like, all right, this guy's the bully now. Like let's say you're the bully for like 28 days in a row and then now you got the fart seat. Dude, your world would be shattered. You would never experience something like that.
No,
You would have been
wouldn't.
on top of the mountain. You're like, yo, I'm the man. Like
man.
every other kid's farted every single day in this class except for me. And like
And
you
then
would
you're
be
like,
feeling
wait a
like the
second.
shit. And then you would have it. And dude, you would. It's like Jordan Peterson said, dude, with the lobster brain.
Yeah.
Where like if you lose a battle, then like you fall down in the social hierarchy because you produce less serotonin or whatever the theory is.
Sure.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably about 60% right
I mean,
on
I
that.
fight battles every week, so I get it.
Dude, yeah, dude. Dude, you just have you have a slight disagreement with a coworker, and you're like, God, my serotonin's so down this week. You're like,
Dude, yeah, I love whenever people bring up like old philosophers or whatever, like Jordan Peterson. When
they just old people
yeah,
that
just
talk on
old
the
people.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I
That's
just
what he
love
is.
whenever people talk about like old shit and like try to correlate it with like life today.
Oh yeah,
Like they'll talk about warriors and
Oh yeah, like the
battling.
whole start of his book is like, we were lobsters 350 million years ago. And it's like,
What?
yeah, that's like the start of the book. He's like, he's like, well, not we were lobsters, but he's like, your nervous system is the same as the lobster's nervous system because all of them are derived from that. And it's like, well, dude, I think theirs would be like ours if they were people. They're lobsters still.
They're lobsters.
It's like it might work the same thing. Well, I guess, I am sounding like an ass because he's the expert. Like, he's the psychologist. I'm not, and I guess they have, like, measured serotonin levels in the brain, whatever. That they've done real science or something like that. And, like, but it's like, dude, don't try to tell me that. Like, yeah, exactly. Don't try to tell me that I, like, because let's say I take that as true, right, man? That could be really bad for my life, dude. If I was to believe that that's true, then like every single time I bomb, I should just think like I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never do comedy again or something if I bomb. It's like
I do think it's very much like mind over matter. Not to get too David Goggins.
Yeah, and the lobsters don't got it, dude. Lobsters can't carry the boats.
Exactly, they
Not
don't
at
got
all,
it.
dude.
They don't got it, bro.
That's why the boats carry the lobsters, bro.
Yeah, but I do think if you have the right mindset, your mind can carry you a long ways.
Yeah.
A very long ways. So
Andrew Tate in jail, for example.
Exactly.
Dude. Like, he got out, and that man's tenacious. He's got a fortified mind.
Dude, isn't there something about Andrew Tate? Didn't he do something?
Dude, yeah, he like I actually watched some of it. He like went and had a like a long podcast with like this therapist.
Yeah.
Like, as he said, they were friends. This therapist was like, "Oh, a lot of people like hate me because like I'm friends with Andrew Tate," and like they're talking, and you could tell that the therapist is not like the same vibe as Andrew Tate, but they're friends. And like Andrew's like he's being like really honest, and he's talking about like what he experienced. He's like being himself or whatever, but he is himself to the logical extent where the therapist is like, so basically you're just saying you don't believe in feelings. And he's just like, yeah, pretty much. And like he was, or like they're not worth it. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, like that's a mind over matter thing, Like, he was sitting in there, like obviously, like, it's funny because he admits, he's like, yes, I was sad, yes, I was angry, and then like he's admitting to all these emotions, and the guy's like, yeah, okay, that's cool, you're recognizing that. How'd it play out? And he was just like, it played out because I'm out now. And it was just like, dude, just admit you were sad and angry in jail. Like, you can, like, and he would have refused to say it. Like, he was like, yeah, but I was turning that energy into something good. I'm like, yes, but like, that also means you were sad and angry.
Yeah.
Like, but that's not a bad thing. Like, it was just funny to watch him be like, nah, dude, like, I'm not. It was like, I don't experience feelings. Like, I channel them into, like, because I actually get what he's about. Like, I'm about
into
that.
my alpha brain. Dude, Andrew Tate's just a narcissist, and I don't mean that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't mean that in like
dude.
Feminist, like, hating Andrew Tate way.
No, not at all.
I actually do believe that
it's just,
Tate
dude, there's like 5%
narcissist,
of them in the world.
which is not a problem.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying he isn't.
Go
like,
be you.
Dude, that's not, yeah. but it's like, it's so, because it's narcissistic to admit that feelings exist and that you have them and that they motivated you to actually do something good for yourself, like get out of a situation that you felt downtrodden in. And then at the very end to be like, yeah, but the only way I can do that is because I've convinced myself they're not real. I'm like, you just are admitting that it's delusional, and you're like, it works though.
It works.
I'm like, dang, dude, like, that's actually that's actually, like, if you could figure out a way to sell that, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like, if you could figure out a way to like like if you were trying to like get through something, and people were like, yo, take this pill, man, it's gonna make all your feelings just motivate you into doing something really productive. And like, you're not gonna feel them the way that you're supposed to feel them. It's just they're gonna exist, and it's gonna, you know, I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure there's people that would do that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't, but I'm sure there are.
Yeah,
people.
I don't know. It depends on the situation. That's what I think. Yeah. Like, I would if it was like somebody's robbing my house, and it's just like I gotta like take all the fear, just motivated to protect myself, pop the pill, dude, and it's just like instant, you know. But if it was like I need to be fearful of certain things to grow and to become better at something, I'd be like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good on the pill, man.
I feel like the only pill I would take that for, and again, this is why I think it'd be beneficial, like people's, I guess, vices.
Right. Yeah.
So going back to that like situation that you just brought up, like someone breaking into your house. If someone broke into my house, I don't think I would be scared and not defend my house. So I don't think I need a pill to do that, because even though if I am scared, I would still defend the house. So I don't need it for that. But what I probably need it for is when I'm lazy. So if like, that's there's
a better
a
example.
Pill,
yeah, that's a better example.
If there was a pill that would like like I feel like doing something,
Right.
but I also feel very tired and I don't want to do it. And then there was a pill that was just like that tired feeling
Shuts off.
is just like now motivation for me to do the thing that I want and need to do. I would take that pill.
Yeah, and
But
even
also that's not an emotional feeling. That's a physical feeling.
well, that's kind of what I was
So
getting
I was trying
at.
to think of like
Yeah.
I was trying to think of an emotional feeling, but is laziness emotion? No, lazy
To a degree, it can be. Like,
yeah.
like
I guess
I'm just,
boredom maybe. Boredom is like not necessarily an emotion,
Yeah.
but boredom.
that could be it. Apathy.
Yeah, I would say like sometimes I get bored of certain tasks, and then that boredom creates not laziness, but it's like like I don't really want to do that because like it's boring to do sometimes.
Right.
So it's like because boredom is not a physical feeling. I would say that's an emotional feeling. So yeah, I would say
Yeah.
I would take a bored pill. I'll take a pill that would make me not be bored.
Like, and I think that's the thing. I think I kind of get what he's saying. Like, if he's like, if Andrew's like if his brain just takes fake pills in his mind, like his pill is just the way he thinks, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that would actually make sense to do. Because maybe or like the reason I was saying I would do it if somebody broke into my house, but it wasn't because I wouldn't act in that way. It's that I would act in that way with zero fear. It would be like, it's like I'm not even using the fear
dangerous. That's like having zero pain.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's like, well, I think that I'm not talking about like a berserker mindset where like somebody's, but I'm talking about just like it just shuts off the emotional completely. So it's like you're fully expressionless in your emotions during that experience, other than like what to do to like not die. Like just it's pure logical. So it's like you're not thinking.
But I think a part of what to do to not die is the fearful emotion. Is what I'm saying. If you have no fear, then your brain wouldn't think about what to do to not die.
Yeah. Oh, well then he's just lying. Then Tate's just lying.
Yeah, he's a narcissist. We've been through this.
Well, no, I would.
But going back to the fear thing real fast, I feel like not having fear would be like not feeling pain.
Right. Yeah,
like
that makes more sense.
Not feeling pain is very dangerous because if you were in a fight and you don't feel pain, then your body's still getting hurt, but you don't feel it.
Yeah.
So you don't know when to stop, and then you die.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's like
okay. That makes
what I'm
much more
saying.
sense.
It's like that seems to me very dangerous if someone truly didn't have fear because they don't know when they're doing something dangerous enough that could kill them.
Yeah.
Where they're logically would think of ways to not die because of that fear. I don't know.
Dude,
maybe
that makes actually a lot of sense.
Though,
that because like he's feeling like he's capping, obviously, like he feels all these things. But like what I think part of the interview I watched, it was like I think what the problem was. I don't even think the therapist like really cared personally, but what I think his critics have a problem with is the way that like he expresses those feelings. You know, where it's like. Okay, yeah, just it's like obviously you should be upset and angry and like, you know, sad that like these things happened to you, like went to jail and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And all this stuff happened. But it's like the fact that he's not responding in maybe a way that person typically would to those emotions.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like yeah, he's still a narcissist, but like that's actually kind of the sick side of it, where it's like, yeah, dude, like take things as they come and like use it to whatever. That's the positive I found out of the conversation. You know,
also,
it was kind of hard to find some positive out of it, but like that's what I dug out of it was like, all right, and don't lie to people about it, like he does, but it's just like taking.
Also, when I said, "Didn't Andrew Tate do something?" I think what I was talking about is
something
like
totally different.
Yeah, I think like didn't he get caught like stealing money from people or some shit like that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he would like he like apparently all his girlfriends or whatever, they like had all these like accounts, like I guess OnlyFans. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
but
yeah,
anyway,
like
they had like all these accounts and stuff like that. And basically, like Andrew and his brother would pretend to be the girls messaging these guys to get money out of them.
Oh yeah, that was like just the business that they ran.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like a scam or if it was illegal or not, but like.
Well, I mean, like I'm not saying it's illegal,
I don't know.
but I'm
that's
saying
like the whole
like
thing.
Not
of, like,
really people. Like I guess like people didn't know that that's exactly what was going on because it wasn't like the girls were scamming. It was like literally Andrew and his brother himself messaging these people, getting them to send money to them.
Yeah, and then they like hired some other dudes, taught them how to do it.
Yeah, probably.
It's like the same thing with like Wolf of Wall Street type shit.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like I don't think people realized that's what was happening.
Oh yeah,
so
like the dudes who were buying it.
It just seems very hypocritical because it's like he's basically saying that he's somebody who cares about men and men's health and all this crap.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's exploiting men.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into that because they talked about that in there.
Tampon company.
Yeah.
And I exploited women. I don't know, but
that's the same thing. It would be like if you. It would be like the guy.
Yeah,
it would be like the guy who, like raised diabetes prices on like those insulin shots.
Yeah,
Martin something.
Martin
Shrek, right? Isn't it Shreckle? Shreckley.
I don't know.
That's just some guy who used to was a pharmaceutical dude named Martin Shreckle or Shreckley, and he like increased the price of insulin to like, I don't even know, like. Hundreds of dollars, you know, and they were like asking him. He was just like, it was just a business decision. And it's like, yeah, dude, that'd be just like taking an everyday product that like tons of people use, like tampons or whatever, like you're saying, and make them like $50 a pop.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, that's exploiting somebody. It's the same thing. It's like there's some lonely person on a computer. It's like if they have nothing going for them and they're willing to spend hundreds of dollars, then it's like. Yeah, dude, that's important. But it was funny though. They asked him that. It was funny because I don't even know if this like if I agree with it or not. But it made me laugh because he was like, "Yeah, dude, they would have just killed themselves without it." So like, if anything, I saved their life. Like he just said it so matter of factly that it made me laugh so hard, dude.
Wait, who lives did he save?
Like like in his mind, he was like, he literally said to this guy, he was like, like these people are so down, like these guys are so depressed and desperate for attention that if they're willing to spend hundreds of dollars on fake messages and like videos of real people and not understand what it is, then they're obviously so sick in the head that without it they would probably just kill themselves. And so technically I'm saving lives. Like he like switches it around, dude.
Bro,
I laughed so hard. I was like, dude, how does that make any sense? Like, well, then you should just sell them nothing and see if they...
maybe there's like one of those guys that would have.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the other of them would have been just fine. Just masturbated. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Fine.
Like, dude.
They would have been fine.
I can't, dude, that is kind of... Dude, I can't actually believe that, like, that's, like people are, like, offing themselves over that. I don't know. Like, they're like, what? They're like, how... Like, did the 40-year-old virgin like thing become like a actual demographic that was like enough to like be measurable? That's like,
yeah, I mean, like
people are becoming multi-hundred millionaires off of it. Like they did. Like how, dude? That's so much money. It's a lot of people, dude. I think it's probably more like the people who are having to work 14-hour days in like China, probably, dude. There's
a lot of
because they love the TikTok and PC girls. Have you seen those guys?
Yeah, they spend a lot of money on that. I don't know, like, sure there are people that are lonely, but I don't think they would kill themselves.
That's what didn't understand his argument. He was pretty much saying that if I didn't force them to spend hundreds of dollars on talking to a fake girl, then they would have killed themselves. That logic doesn't make sense at all.
Make sense, no.
Like, no, they would probably have just spent it on, like, either... Okay, well, his point was, like, just somewhere else. At another thing.
That's true.
But it's kind of like...
if he would have said that, it's like, if I didn't do it, someone else would have. I would have been like, you're still, like, a piece of shit. But... Yeah. Okay, thank you for being honest. Like... Yeah. But... don't be like, they would have killed themselves, so I'm a good guy. Like, don't pretend to be a good guy.
That's
like,
the thing. That's the thing.
Just be a bad guy. And just say, well, yeah, I'm a bad guy, but also
like yeah, I don't care.
But also, like, someone else would have done it, so it's just like opportunity. And I would have been like, yeah,
right.
I get that. I don't like it, but I get it. You know, I respect you for noticing that.
Yeah, like, because he used the example. He was like, dude, think about it this way. The reason why I'm not exploiting them is because if there was 3 liquor stores in the town and then one of them closed shop, then who do you think all the customers? Where do you think they're gonna go? And the therapist is like, to the other 2 stores, he's like, exactly. And this therapist was terrible at coming up with analogies and like arguing with things on the spot. I would have just been like, well, yeah. And then if that second one left, now you have one asshole who's responsible for like keeping all the drunks in the town drunk. Like there used to be 3 out, and now you're the biggest asshole who's keeping. You know, it's like, dude, this isn't like. I mean, it's like he could have compared it to like a landscape business instead to make it sound better. He's like, no, let's choose a store that like contributes to like something else awful. He thought that like if anything that just describes his own endeavor as being something like that's like considered immoral, you know?
Sure.
It's like, dude, your analogy legit argues against itself.
Yeah.
And the therapist didn't even recognize it. I'm like, this therapist needs to hop off the podcast, dude. Like, go be a therapist. Like, you're arguing with Andrew Tate, the god. All right,
The alpha.
the alpha,
alpha, bro.
like the king, dude. If this guy can out narcissist you, then you need to lose your license, bro. Like, if you like, that's what I think.
Oh my gosh. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
How you
notice the
doing?
time, dude. Hey, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Was
Did
a
you
fun
bring
day. Oh yeah. Oh,
You did.
dude, we have a little
You
gift.
did. All right.
I don't even know if this is the right one, but one of our friends, Ethan, has been watching our podcast clips.
Bro, Ethan, thank you for all the likes on Instagram. If you don't know, we do post shorts and reels and TikToks, and Ethan is out there liking our shit.
And I have this knife, Ethan. I don't know if this is actually your knife that you let me borrow or not. I don't think it is. I think it was cooler and it was green and it was a better knife, but you can have this one and...
Wait, didn't you find that knife? You didn't explain the story at all.
Oh, sorry. I let my friend Ethan borrow a knife, and I
Yeah.
think this is it, but I could be wrong. It probably isn't.
It probably isn't, but
He can have this one, though, and I'll,
Ethan,
Venmo
apparently
you money
Brandon,
if I didn't already do that.
apparently Brandon has not contacted you in the last 7 years because he thinks he owes you
pretty much,
a
dude. Like,
knife,
I owe you a knife
and
or something like
he
that.
is too autistic
No,
to
I haven't
DM
really...
you and ask you if that's your knife. So we're doing it here on the pod. Is this your knife, Ethan? If it is,
Let us know,
let us know.
and we'll send it to you.
Yep.
I will say that wasn't the only motivating reason. It's also just our lives doesn't cross paths again. But I have thought about, I looked at this knife 2 years ago and found it. Was like, that could be Ethan's. And I was like...
2 years ago?
Yeah. And then I was like, wait a second. It's been so much longer even still since I had been loaned this knife. If
Yeah.
I tell him now, it will be so awkward. So now this is me telling you.
Yes.
So if it's yours... Here you go. If
All
not,
right.
I'll figure out a way to do
Well,
something else.
Thank you guys for watching. This is JoBodie. I've been Joe,
And this is Body.
and y'all have been listening. Thank you so much. Give us a like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, links in the bio.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Have a good one. JoBodie. JoBodie. It's another JoBodie. It's JoBodie. And another JoBodie. Another one. JoBodie. This is a new episode of JoBodie.
Oh shit, I wasn't even recording. Fuck.
I want JoBodie. I need JoBodie. As long as you got me, you don't need nobody.